Hi, everyone, and welcome back to our next session at CMO Summit. It's been an awesome day so far, and I'm super excited for our next session, which is another one of our event partners, MarketMate AI. And I can say for sure it's going to be a great one. We've got two fab speakers up next. As I've said before, please ask questions, get involved in the chat. I know we've got a few polls and interactive bits coming up, so don't be shy. And yeah, without further ado, we'd love to hand over to our two speakers. We've got David Garcia and Nathan Schlaffer, who are both from MarketMate AI, and we'll be doing a session on how AI can align B2B sales and marketing for revenue growth. So I'd like to welcome you both to the stage.
Great. Thank you, Caitlin. Hi, everyone. Welcome. We're so excited to be here at CMO Summit and present on how AI can help align B2B sales and marketing teams for revenue growth. And Caitlin, if we can maybe go to the second slide on the agenda, we'd love to dive right in. So today we're going to talk a little bit about our story, so how MarketMate got started, the ROI of adopting AI. So we're really focused on B2B marketing and sales teams and how your team can grow more profitably with AI. Then we're going to talk about the problem that we see, so the sales and marketing gap, and the solution. So we're going to walk through a new paradigm in how to adopt generative AI for B2B marketing workflows, whether that's creating your target market segments, creating buyer personas, developing your messaging, creating sales enablement programs and collateral. So we're going to talk about kind of our framework for how to adopt AI successfully within your team. So let's move to the next slide, please. So a little bit about our story. So Dave and I, we were in product marketing for about a decade at different B2B SaaS companies. And we started encountering, the same challenges over and over again related to message inconsistency or budget cuts for our marketing department and having to do basically more with less. And we were so excited, like millions of other marketers out there when ChatGPT first came out. And hey, from the chat, I see people from Chicago joining, South Africa, so cool. Florida. Awesome. Wow. Glad you could make it. And really, what we wanted to do was use generative AI for our practical day-to-day, but we had a few problems and challenges with it. One was prompting is not as easy as it seems. It's somewhat of an art and a science, getting at results that you can use in a marketing context, whether it's content development. It doesn't always come out exactly the way you intend it to. And also, as you guys know, because you're all early adopters of AI, and that probably piqued your interest in joining today, sales and marketing really use AI differently. Like sales might use it to write a prospect email, and marketing might use it for content development. So the use cases are very different. So Dave and I wanted to create the world's first AI platform that understood B2B buyers. And with that, actually, let me let Dave introduce himself as well.
Hey, guys. And this is beautiful. So many people from all over the world. Amazing. Welcome to our session, guys. My partner and I started this. My specific reason for wanting to join in on this AI venture with MarketMate AI was because I come from a very people-centric place. I believe in people. I'm team human all day long. So there's a lot of fear about AI replacing people. I think differently. I think AI is a people hyperscaler, right? So I think it's one of the best ways to enable people to not only be productive, but be effective, right? Because as marketers, we have so many things that we have to worry about during our day and responsibilities. So when we first started to use AI, it dawned on me that this thing is awesome, but it's important to know how to use it properly. So that's why we developed MarketMate AI, and we're excited to share it with you guys today. So welcome, and thank you for all the greetings and love from all over the world.
Awesome. Next slide, please. Perfect. So the reason why we exist and kind of our mission is to help align sales and marketing teams to amplify creativity and boost revenue. So as Dave mentioned, we think AI is not a people replacer, it's really a people enabler. How do we enable B2B marketing teams to be more productive, to do more with less? And then also, how do we make that sustainable? So how do we impact ROI with AI? And we're really excited to get into that on the next slide to talk about ROI. So what's the ROI of adopting AI for the B2B marketing leader? So we've looked at studies from McKinsey and Spiceworks, and here's a snapshot of why every CMO should keep AI top of mind today. So for those companies that have adopted generative AI for marketing workflows, they've experienced a 15% revenue uplift. And then for sales teams that have adopted AI to automate things like prospect email generation, they've experienced a 20% increase in the ROI of their sales activity. So that's shorter sales cycles, more messaging that resonates, let's say when they're running ABM campaigns. First, from Spiceworks, they surveyed B2B marketers, and they found that 2/3 of the marketers that adopted generative AI experienced positive ROI. They were also able to generate leads using less marketing spend, so 50% higher cost efficiency. In addition to that, they were able to generate more creative ideas and also faster creative cycles. So if you think about, preparing marketing campaigns, one of the biggest bottlenecks is content development. So if you're able to apply generative AI to not only generate a variety of more creative ideas for your campaigns, but you're also able to accelerate that copywriting process, that editing process, then you can really do more with the same amount of resources. And that's the whole idea behind kind of this slide, is you're able to do more with less with AI, and there's a tangible kind of ROI for adopting these new technologies. Next, please.
Awesome. All right. Well, guys, I see that there's some people from all over the world and there's people watching. I would love to hear from you guys. Nathan and I are curious as to how people are implementing AI today. Are you using it for target market segmentation? Are you using it for messaging and positioning? Maybe you're using it for content development. That's a super, super useful and very common case for a lot of people, especially in marketing, demand gen specifically. And then maybe sales enablement. Maybe you're helping your sales guys draft some emails or be able to do sequences or maybe do a pitch. So please, we're gonna give a minute. Leave a comment. Let us know how you guys are using AI. We'd love to hear from you. This is really important. I think the fact that we have the ability to have a conversation with so many leaders, is really an amazing opportunity for us to get real time feedback and see, what exactly you guys are doing with AI, man. We're all excited for it, but we want to hear from you.
Great. We have some comments here. Tom uses it for content development. Heidi for polishing copy.
Yeah, that's right, Heidi. Way to go, Tom.
Awesome.
We'll just give it a few more moments. Victoria. Ooh, messaging and content. Yeah, definitely content development for sure. Looks like that's definitely top of the AI list for a lot of the people that are watching.
Also content.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Lynn, that's a great question. It's really useful. Actually, we can speak to that a little bit later as well.
Storyboarding. That's a great idea, use case there. And starting a script. Yeah, the other day we were talking to a marketer and she was doing a BDR call script with AI, so you can totally relate to that.
That's right, Tony. Understanding markets, that's right. Wow. Excellent. Man, this is really great engagement, guys. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Thank you. All right, we'll give it a few more moments and then we'll go ahead and move on to the presentation, guys. But we just wanted to get a feel for where everybody's at. We're on different journeys. Some are power users. Some of us are super novice. Some are just kind of like, super generic. I didn't see any value, but we want to get everybody on board.
Content development. That's a recurring theme. Yep. Defining personas. Mm-hmm. Awesome.
That's right. Goldbar. That's a cool name.
Cool.
That. This is really cool. Yeah, Elia. Yeah, we feel you. That's definitely something that a lot of people are struggling with, and they're trying to find like a way to implement it and really how to use it. So that's a great comment. Thank you.
Awesome. Oh, that's a unique one. Generating mission and vision statements. Awesome. Cool. Great feedback, guys. So with that, let's kind of move to the next slide. And a lot of your questions and kind of use cases, we'll bring up practical examples a little bit later on. We'll go through some actual AI examples. So take it away, Dave.
Awesome. So let's talk about sales and marketing gap, because this is huge. I've been in marketing. Nate's been in marketing over a decade. That's definitely a struggle. And the struggle is real, my friends. Everybody's stuck in these really inefficient loops and these practices that have been a forever problem. Okay, this is nothing new. So we're not talking or saying anything that everybody doesn't already know. But what we're talking here specifically are about 3 areas, right? Target markets, messaging, and sales enablement. So if you're talking about target markets, lack of alignment on who the buyer personas are, who is your ICP or the specific roles, right? Who's your champion? Who's your decision maker? That stuff. There's definitely an issue with that. Also messaging. How aligned are your sales and your marketing on the brand messaging and positioning for your value propositions? That's always a struggle. And the reason why those two are important is because those lead us to the third one, sales enablement. That's not going to happen if the first two are not aligned, okay? You're not going to be able to get your guys that are joining your sales team ramped up quickly so that they can be productive and generate revenue quickly, or to not have stalled opportunities in the funnel, right? These are all symptoms of a systematic issue that's basically due to messaging alignment. So this fundamental gap is where our efforts get diluted, and all the potential revenue from our marketing strategies, all that stuff that we do, that's what leads to the burnout. That's the team human aspect that make Dave want to jump on this really hard, because that makes you feel like you're not effective at your job, you know? So there's no worse feeling than spending months and weeks on something and then pouring your heart into it and then not seeing any results from those campaigns. Because I'll ask you, what happens when we miss our goals for Q1? Do they get reduced and adjusted for Q2? They don't. So today, our goal is to be able to take on these challenges head on and lay some groundwork so that you guys can understand the true potential of alignment between your sales and marketing, and how AI can help you be able to achieve that. Next slide, please. So this is crazy. Okay, let's just number one, let's just talk about how crazy it is, the amount of tools that are out there for AI that are specifically to just one thing. Look at all the categories that you see there, right? It's overwhelming. There's just too many that just do one specific thing. So when you're talking about aligning your sales and your marketing, you need a more holistic, collaborative, strategic approach. Everybody's got to be on the same page, guys. So when you're looking at being able to look at how everybody's using tools, if you're talking about a marketer versus a salesperson, they're using different tools for different purposes, right? How many times have you guys been bombarded with the new game-changing AI tool, right? It's just test, adopt, discard, repeat. And don't get me started on the free trials you signed up for and forgot to cancel at the end of the month. Because we all know the drill, right? And one side is sales and the other one's marketing, but you guys are grappling with the same issues with all these tools. If you're a salesperson, you're probably using it to draft some emails or to try to prospect. But if it's not aligned with your messaging or with your brand, who cares? They're wasting time and they're using something that's supposed to be effective, but it's not, right? They're just more productive, not effective. And if you're marketing, you're crafting content, but if it's not aligned with your salespeople, then it's not gonna work either, because they're not gonna use it. So we're here to kind of break that cycle and get you over the using these endless free trials and the fragmented solutions, because tool fatigue is real. In fact, most of you guys probably haven't even opened up the tools that you've been signing up for. You forgot that you have them, right? So we want to ensure that whatever you're using is unified, that it speaks directly to your audience, and it's able to help you cut through the noise so people don't tune you out. All right. So that's why it's important for everybody to be on the same page, because 200 AI tools, these are the best. That's ridiculous. All right. Next slide, please.
Great. So what we have is a more holistic approach to B2B sales and marketing alignment, and we call it the Buyer Centric AI Framework. And it really has 4 steps. And we use an acronym so you can kind of remember it, called LEAD. And the first step is we want to take an AI model and have it learn your buyer personas. So we essentially train an AI model on your buyer persona pain points. What's your customer language? What are their motivation? How do they measure success? Once we adopt step 1 and teach the AI on your buyer personas, now it has the ability to speak your customer language. And that's something, as a marketer, Dave and I used to do all the time, is we're imagining how would our buyer persona react to this messaging or this copy. If you can get AI to think like a marketer, you can get AI to create messaging and content that resonates and that's personalized for your buyer personas. So step 1 is learn. Step 2 is enhance. So once we've trained the AI on your buyer persona, now we're going to teach the AI to develop your messaging. So we're going to have the AI create brand architecture, create product positioning, create value propositions. So we've essentially taken an AI model and given it these templates for messaging framework so that it can develop the messaging for you just using a few simple inputs. And then Dave, you want to handle the next 2, automating 5?
Yeah, of course, because now that AI knows your personas, they understand your messaging, that means that now, guess what? You get to automate, which is the A of our lead framework, right? That means that you get to quickly scale personalized content for your B2B buyers, right? So that means what? It means better engagement, right? It's not just more leads, but higher quality leads, and increase in lead to opportunity conversion rates, which means that you can drive sales enablement, right? That's where the D comes in of our lead framework. You want to be able to provide guardrails for these guys. You don't want them making emails willy-nilly with, some AI tool to nobody that's going to read it because they don't care. So you want to be able to also help onboard them. You want to be able to arm them with the knowledge of your personas, your value propositions, your pain points. You want to automate their prospecting. You want to help them generate qualifying questions for your ideal customers. You also want to be able to help create persuasive sales pitches that are going to align with your messaging and that ultimately are going to drive shorter sales cycles, because that's what you get measured on the ROI of the campaigns. So because you can onboard sales guys faster, that means that now you're going to have them generating revenue much faster because you have an AI that's trained, that's going to have them go from days to weeks instead of months, right? So now you're going to have a much easier time bringing them on board and making sure that they generate revenue. Next slide.
Perfect. So let's walk through this in practice. So what does it look like to train an AI model on your buyer personas? So here's a common scenario on the left, and then we'll go through an example on the right. So often, companies are growing, their sales team is expanding, and they're hiring new reps. One of the challenges is the new rep probably doesn't understand who your buyer personas are, and they also don't know your value proposition. So how do you get your sales team to get these buyer personas quickly? And let's say the CEO said, okay, CMO, develop a buyer persona, share it with the sales team, and do a sales training. You have 30 days to do it. So we're under the wire. On the right, we have an example of MarketMate's buyer persona generator. And I'm not sure if that play will work, but if not, it's okay. We'll describe it for you. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. So basically, what the buyer persona generator is doing is it's taking inputs. This is my product. This is my target market. And then here are some pain points that my audience experiences. Here's their job title. And then what it can do is essentially create a buyer persona for you pretty quickly. So within 60 seconds, it's going to write, based on a few simple inputs, a completely fleshed out buyer persona with, these are the challenges, these are some of the motivations for this buyer persona, and then here are the KPIs, or how they measure success. So the idea is we're having the AI take an active role in building the buyer personas. It's going to remember those buyer personas so that we can use it later. Next slide, please. So now that the AI has learned the buyer persona, we're going to get it to create an enhanced messaging for us. So on the left side, here's a common scenario. Your company has evolved, your product has grown, maybe you've launched several new products. So as your brand evolves, you have different departments talking about your solution using different words, and that creates message and consistency across sales and marketing. So with AI, one of the things that we can do is use AI to create a unified messaging framework. So on the right side, I'm going to kind of describe how it works for you. So we have a template on the back end of our AI platform that creates product positioning statements. And it's based on the April Dunford model of product positioning, where we have, here is our product, here's the market we're in, here are 3 sources of competitive advantage and competitive alternatives or substitutes to our solution. And then what the AI platform does is it essentially crafts a product positioning statement for us using that framework. So it's contextually relevant for the customer. So we're able to rapidly create messaging and develop and refine it using AI rather than struggling with that writer's block. Dave and I, for weeks have created messaging frameworks where we had to think of, okay, what's the value proposition, both at the corporate level and then for each of the products. With AI, you can accelerate that process so it can take hours rather than days or weeks. So this is the next example, and I'll hand it over to Dave for the next slide.
Thank you, my friend. All right, next slide, please. Okay, Caitlin, can you move to the next slide, please? It's a super awesome slide, I promise. Caitlin, are you there?
Let's see.
Let's see.
That's okay. Maybe we can walk through it, Dave.
You know what? I'll speak to it. Why not? Stuff happens. This is live, and we're just happy that there's an audience here. So, how do you solve for a common issue when you're talking about automation, right? So now that we have the AI that's learned your personas, now that you've been able to integrate the subject matter experts that are able to take their expertise and integrate it into your personas, and you've defined them, and now they're well honed. Well, now you want to be able to provide a way to take all of that information, right, that you're going to need to be able to develop your campaigns and automate it. So a big problem is that when you're talking about bottlenecks, it's not just about writer's block, like Nathan said, or it's not just about your limited bandwidth or your lack of time. And a lot of times it has your subject matter experts that are just not able to be around because they're split. They have too many demands from sales teams. They got to be on every call. They got to check out every email before it gets sent out. And then product team, which needs them to refine the product or to help them prioritizing features, right? So how do you do that? How do you get the SME's knowledge, the tribal knowledge and their experience and integrate it and automate it? Well, we have a tool that allows you to be able to scale that by using content development, right? So we have a platform that has different templates already, either press releases, LinkedIn, blogs, tweets or X now, sorry. And it's really easy to do because you don't have to enter a bunch of prompts. You can just enter a few pieces of information, the content type that you're going to need, what's the theme that you want to go for. And AI already remembered the persona. So now it knows how to tailor it for them. And now you got to do is add your tone and click, there we go. Thank you, Caitlin, appreciate that. So there you go. So that's what you do. This is the A of the lead. Lead is going to become a new favorite four-letter word, friends. And and you just click generate, and then you're off to the races. Okay, go ahead to the next slide, please. Beautiful. Okay, so now we're talking about the D, right, in our framework. So you're talking about driving sales enablement. So now, common scenario, guys. You have prospect email sequences. These are a giant time suck, especially when you're talking about having to work through these and making the time and bandwidth and sit there and write these out. So you hired a new salesperson, you're trying to bring them on board and they're asking your advice because they need to write an email sequence for your buyer persona. Guess what? They don't understand your buyer persona. They also don't know your value proposition. They don't know the pain points, and maybe they don't even know your product or your market. That's super common. So how do you be able to help them create an email sequence that's going to resonate with your target, that's going to be aligned with your messaging, and it's going to target your audience pain points? Well, there you go. This is where our ability to be able to do messaging guardrails by having an email sequence writer or a prospect email generator is going to come in. So all you have to do is select the persona that your AI already remembers, because remember, you took your SME's insights and all of the tribal knowledge and you decided this is definitely the guy I got to talk to. And then you're able to take that, and now you enter just a few pieces of information, and then the value proposition, which by the way is already predefined as well, and you can have a template for each different types for the different personas, and that's it. You're able to generate an email sequence that's going to be tailored, hyper-focused, and personalized in a record time. So which means that now you're not going to have to be there and have to hold their hand and use all of your time, because now you've automated that process, right? So now it's not as time suck for you anymore. Now it's a value add. Okay.
Yeah.
Next one. Oh, because the last thing you guys want to do is spend a bunch of time with a new sales guy and not have him be able to generate revenue, right? Because that's what happens typically when they first get onboarded. So we want to reduce that time so you guys can start making money and be able to get those guys to be effective. So this is the last slide of our presentation. So I just want to leave you guys with what are our 4 elements of the lead model for Buyer Centric framework, right? It's learn, enhance, automate, and drive. So our platform is uniquely aligned for sales and marketing around 4 core strategies. Honing your buyer personas, guys, because those are super important. Many times those get put on the back burner. They don't exist. They're not updated frequently, or maybe you have a new one you haven't generated for, right? And then you also have the fine-tuning of your messaging so that you can make sure you strike a chord when you hit that right person. And then third is amplifying your content development. You want to be able to automate that so you can do it at scale, be more effective. And then the last piece, sales enablement, right? That's a really major part of this whole piece. You get those 3 things right, sales enablement is going to be awesome. So you want to be able to do this to supercharge not only your revenue, but also save time and money, because you don't have to add more people to get this stuff done. You can enhance your existing team's effectiveness at scale, right? So the time to adopt this new software is also really important, because remember we talked about all those 200 AI tools that everybody's using and the different tools everybody has in their bag. Well, now you have something that's going to be aligned, right? That's purpose-built, that has modules that are tailored to drastically reduce the adoption curve, which means that you can see results in hours and days, not weeks and months. And as we all know, every CMO, your job is based on profitable growth. Okay, so embracing this lead buyer-centric model that MarketMate AI has developed is a really kind of a key way to start maximizing AI's ROI and also helping you, hit those target revenue growth, those revenue growth targets. So it's not just about, unlocking AI's potential, but it's also about doing it in a practical way.
Perfect. And next slide, please. Thank you, Tom. And it looks like Elliot had a question. So we want to continue the conversation, and here's our contact information and website. But just to answer Elia's question, are there best practices or recommendations for implementing AI solutions for B2B sales and marketing space to maximize their impact? I think part of it is looking for a tool that's more of a platform than a point solution. So Dave mentioned, there are tools for email writing, there are tools for blog writing, there are tools for, if you can have everyone on the same platform with permission controls, for example, guardrails where marketing gets to edit value propositions messaging, sales gets to generate emails from that messaging, but not necessarily create messaging. I think you've got a tool that can help you really ensure that your marketing resonates with your audience and that you're able to generate more leads, have higher revenue growth, and higher quality leads. So that's just one suggestion, Elliot. Great question.
Yeah, that's a really great question. Thank you. And thank you, everybody, for participating. My God, this has been amazing. Seriously, we're really grateful. Thank you so much for the participation and the questions. Please connect with us on LinkedIn. We would love to hear from you guys. And thank you, Caitlin.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much for helping us out.